Hello, welcome to our little shop. And today, yes, we have another one of those stories. And this is actually a pretty good one. But let me say first, anybody that knows me very well knows that I have a real thing for juniors. It's one of those things that's like an exercise in simplicity. You know, big hunk of mahogany, big neck, P92 knobs. You always plug it in, it always sounds good. I've never seen a junior I did not like. However, this one, is a 3/4 size, and there's a reason for that. Something else I want to point out here real quickly. This was Gibson's budget model guitar at the time. At the time, this guitar cost $99.50, which was a lot of dollars in 1957. Like I say, it's a 57 model. Flip it over here. Let's let you check out the serial number, okay? It's a 57 model. The tuners have been changed. There's a couple errant holes there. The nut's been changed, and they've boogered it up a little bit in the front. The spacing's wrong on it. The strings actually fall off the side of the neck. So we're going to fix that. The tailpiece has also been changed. And man, this is one of those things. I've seen a lot of Les Paul tailpieces be abused, but I've never seen one have both ears broken off of it. Of course, this is aluminum. But it's a shame, that was the original tailpiece. But anyway, so the tailpiece has been changed. The tuners, I would probably handle different. I would probably have replaced the buttons on and kept the original tuners. But that ship's already sailed. So we're going to continue on with what we're doing. So basically what we're going to do is get this guitar in proper playing condition, because it has a special purpose. The story here is, and this story kind of warms my heart a little bit. That's why you're seeing this. This guitar was purchased recently by a grandfather for his 10-year-old grandson. The story I get, both grandparents are doctors, and the story that I get is the child is very committed to guitar. Of course, his grandfather plays. His grandfather's got a lot of really good old vintage stuff. So he's bought this guitar for him. So we're going to make it play as good as we possibly can. So, yeah, try not to be envious. A grandparent buying a 57 Les Paul Jr. for a grandson is a pretty cool thing. So, anyway, we're going to get on with this and get it taken care of for him. Yeah, we have found something else here I'm not happy about. We're going to take care of that. I was actually going to pull these tuners anyway to plug this hole and kind of disguise it some, because frankly it just looks like termite damage. But I found this in the process, so we're going to fix that too. Who knows what all we're going to find here. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be changing this nut. Let me show you why. We're about half the distance we should be from this side of the neck over. This is a little shy as well. And then what they've done, if you look, you'll see that the spacing between these two strings and these two strings is quite different as well. That's the most obvious. But they're actually not spaced evenly at all. There's quite a bit of difference here between the spacing on these strings. So we want to move them in so they're not falling off the sides of the fingerboard, and then do the spacing evenly. So I've already knocked this nut loose. We get it off here. And like I say, there's a little bit of finish damage here in front of the nut that we're going to clean up. We're going to take care of that here while we're doing the tuner remounting and all that. Then we're going to continue on to the serious stuff. Well, there's been quite a bit going on here in the last, let's see. Hang on. Yep, almost an hour, 56 minutes. We've plugged and tightened up these screw holes back here. We've actually filled in this one down here. We've cleaned up the back of the headstock. We've cleaned up the front of the headstock. We've got the bushings back in. We're ready to mount the tuners again. This has been a little bit of a problem right here. As I was just finishing buffing this out, what I had actually went through over here, so I've had to start building up some black again. This is going to have to sit overnight. I'm going to try to get some more lacquer on here so I can finish up tomorrow. But what I actually had to do was fill in where they had broken out the wood right here where the nut had been. So I had to build all this back in and file this all out here level and square again to get the nuts set in it properly. In the meantime, while I was doing all that, I roughed out the nut blank. So it's ready to put in, but we're not ready to put it in. So I'm going to continue on here. I'm going to clean up his frets a little bit. He's got some fret wear, and I'm going to check here, make sure there's no high ones or anything, and get it ready, because this is going to hold us up some. So while we're still dealing with this finish touch-up up here at the nut, I'm trying to optimize my time management. So I've tightened up the nuts on these pots because they were loose. I've cleaned the pots, and I just wanted to say, guys, there you go, original solder joints and an original bumblebee. That is an original bumblebee cap. So like I say, I'm trying to manage my time here the best, so I'm going to go ahead and clean up the front of this guitar. In fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and clean up the rest of the whole guitar. Intonation adjustment's not going to be that difficult on this guitar. It's like 2 screws. So I don't have to worry about that so much. So I'm going to clean this thing up. Still touching up here. As soon as this lacquer dries, I'm going to drop some clear on it. I've actually brought a little bit of clear that's been thinned down a lot that I use as a flash coat. I brought it over here to do some touch-ups on or to melt the seams together on a neck refinish for a broken headstock Les Paul the other day, so it's still here. So as soon as this black dries, I'm going to drop fill some of this in on it and let it set overnight, and we'll sand this and buff this out tomorrow. And oh yeah, anybody notice? Look at the fingerboard. This was stock stuff back there. Oh yeah. I'm not going to say it. You guys got to figure it out. Anyway, let's get on to clean this thing up. Okay. Well, I come in this morning, leveled this with a razor blade scraper like I usually do a lot of times. Sanded it with some 1000 grit, some 1500, some 2000, and polished it out real quick, and there we go. Now, where was I with this nut thing? Okay, we're all finished up. We've got about 2.5 hours in here with cleaning and so on. We have a new bone nut, which was actually the biggest part of this job. Just a general cleaning up. Like I said, I did a little bit of light fret work on it. Tightened up all these controls and cleaned in, put jack. Set his bridge height and intonation, all that. So we're all set. So what we have here is a 3/4 size 1957 Les Paul Jr. the Brazilian fingerboard. This thing's as old as I am. It's in pretty good shape. A few dings and bangs and nicks, but so do I. Anyway, so it is going to be returned to the grandfather this weekend to bestow on the grandson. I was just reminiscing quietly in my own head. I remember when I was 10 years old, I was playing a $40 True Tone combo from a pawn shop. So, I say, we try not to be too jealous of this whole thing. This is a great guitar. The whole thing is 3/4 size. But you know what? That'd make a really nice little slide guitar. Well, I'm sure this, preteen is going to enjoy the present from his grandfather. And hopefully it'll last him throughout his life. So, until next time, play nice